Hey y'all, welcome back to Zesty Thoughts, episode 4. It is so great to be back. Y'all, I'm such a weenie about the heat. It's hot. It's hot. I'm not a fan of heat. I'm not a fan of being sweaty. I think that's really what it is. Like my sensory issues just can't handle it. So I'm a total weenie. A total weenie. So I have my window open right now, right next to me, so I can feel the breeze. So if you hear any little scurrying little critters, sometimes there are like squirrels, and there was a little opossum outside my window last week, 2 weeks ago. Oh my God, it was so cute. And then it was out in the front, like 2 nights prior to it being outside my window, and my cat was tripping. Like, it was the cutest thing ever. She was like, her eyes were locked on it. And it's a little one, like a little baby one, and knocked over our aloe vera plant in the front yard. But it's okay. We just put it back. But yeah, I think it was looking for food or scraps or something. It was just cruising around in our front yard. But anyway, so I have the window open and I can literally feel the breeze as we speak. I have a thermostat, little one, in my room. It literally says 77. So the breeze is like very much needed. Anyway, okay, I wanted to start off today's episode with a wild story. I go to Trader Joe's to shop at least once a week. Sometimes I'm there twice a week to just like pick up random things. And I went, I think this may be like last week when I went. The Trader Joe's that I shop at actually, I mean, for all of you that shop at Trader Joe's know, it's like notorious for having horrible parking lots. And the parking lot at this Trader Joe's is like actually not bad because it's subterranean like parking. It's like underground. So, I mean, it can be like busy sometimes, but I feel like it's easier in and out than the average Trader Joe's parking lot. So I love it. And it's like a few blocks away from my place. So I'm there all the time, and so you go in in the garage down underground, and then sometimes I take the stairs, sometimes I go the elevator. So I went upstairs, I did my shopping, and I had a bunch of stuff, so I had a shopping cart, and I'm waiting in line to get back into the elevator to go down to my car, and there are like 2 women in front of me with their shopping carts, and the elevator opens. And the first woman starts walking in, and then like she kind of like stopped because she got like stuck in the elevator tracks. And then the woman behind her like accidentally kept going and like hit her, like bumped into her. And the lady that she bumped into like freaked out. And I was just standing, like I had my headphones in, and I was just standing there, and I didn't realize what was going on until I heard like yelling through my beats, and I was like, what is happening? And yeah, she was like freaking out. She was like, oh my gosh, ow, my ankle. Like she was like being really dramatic about it. Like I'm sure it hurt. Like that's not comfortable when you're like bumped in the ankle. Like I'm sure that's happened to everyone at some point. We all know that doesn't feel good, but she was like being very, very like melodramatic about it, like almost like in a rude way, like on purpose. Like I was getting that tone from it like right off the bat. I was like, okay girl, it's like when you're like in a fender bender and you barely tap the car in front of you, and then the person's like, my neck, my back. It's like it was giving that same energy. Anyway, so the lady was being super dramatic, and the woman that hit her was like so apologetic. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, it was an accident. And like she, was apologizing and kept apologizing over and over. And then the lady that she bumped into was like, it's fine. And then like went, like she must have been on the phone or something. So she just like kept talking to someone who she was on the phone with. But she said it's fine, like a very rude. This whole situation was just giving rude, and you'll see why as I continue the story on. But like, yeah, so she just kept talking, and we get into the elevator. So the 2 of them go in, and the elevator really only fits like 3 people with their carts. So the 2 of them go in, and then I'm like the last person to go in the elevator, and then there's like no more room. So I go in, third, and then the elevator door closes. And the woman that was on the phone that got bumped into, she was standing like next to where the buttons were. And me and the other woman were like kind of towards the other side. And we're just sitting there kind of like waiting for her to push a button. But she's like on the phone and like distracted. And so she just doesn't. And we're standing there for like 30 seconds or something. And then the woman that accidentally bumped into her was like, hey, can you get the button? Like she asked me. Obviously, she's probably like terrified of that lady. You know, she felt so bad. So she asked me to push the button. And so I was like, excuse me. And I just like got in front of her. And when I like reached over to press the button, the lady like flinched. I'm not even kidding. She like flinched out of the way. Like, ew, you disgusting peasant. Like it was like giving like, you know? And so then I press the button and we go down. Yeah. And we're going down, mind you, it's one floor. The elevator ride is not that long. We start moving, and then the lady that's on the phone goes, yeah, some nice lady just like rammed into the back of my ankles with her shopping cart. And then she takes, like, she had like wired headphones in. She took one out and she goes, it still really hurts, by the way. To the lady, I was like, I'll be honest, I have a really bad poker face. Like I show my reactions to things like very well. It's hard for me to hide how I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling a certain way about something or a situation, it's going to show on my face. And there aren't many situations in life where like my jaw literally drops, but she said that to her and just like stared at her and then put the headphone back in and just like kept talking and rolled her eyes. And no, my jaw was on the floor. Like I was like standing there like, oh my God, do I say something? Like, what do I do? Like, this is so awkward. Oh God. Anyway, so I kind of like, I was like trying to look at the other lady and like feel her out, because I could tell she was feeling like, she was like in her shell. She was like feeling really crappy, you know? Anyway, so the elevator gets down to the bottom. Mind you, all that happens within the span of like 10 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't know. It was just so fast, and it was like, what's happening? The elevator opens, and then like I'm the closest to the exit. So I go out first and I push my cart, and then I go to hold the door open because like they have their carts. I'm like just being nice, you know? So I put my arm in front of like the elevator door so it'll stay open. And the lady that, you know, felt bad that accidentally bumped into her was like, oh, you can go first. And then the lady that she bumped into was like, oh, I'm not going first. I don't want you to be behind me again. Oh my God. Like, what? I was like, is this real life? Is this actually happening? Like, people are actually like this. Like, she was just being so rude. And it's like, I get maybe if you have like an injury or like you've had a surgery or something and like it hurts you, like to maybe like say that, like, I don't know, like that would be like a little more understandable that like, no, it like really hurts. And then it's like, oh my gosh, okay, like what can I do? I'm so sorry. Do you need help back to your car? Do you want me to get you to like a urgent? It's like, if it's like a serious thing, I would totally get you being like pissed off about it. But she was just being like overtly rude to the woman, like for like not no reason, but like basically for no reason. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, but like she didn't really deserve it. Anyway, so she said that to the woman, and the lady was like, okay, like she chuckled, and dude, she was just down bad at that point. I was like, this poor lady, I feel so horrible. Like I feel bad for both of them because that hurts. I get it. But like, dude, there's no reason to be that, like to just go over the top like that. Anyway, so I hold the door open, and the woman that accidentally hit her, pulls out, and then I like kind of pushed out of the way, and realizing now maybe it was subconsciously on purpose, but I like didn't hold the door open for the woman that was being rude, and the elevator door closed on her. Yeah, I don't know if I'm proud to admit that, but yeah, I did not hold the elevator open for her. She was being so rude. I will admit it. I was like, no, she can open it herself, you know? since I pushed the button for her, she can push the button now and get out on her own, you know? Yeah. So anyway, me and the other woman are like walking, and she's back behind us, and I like looked over at the woman. I was like, "Are you good?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, it's almost like accidents don't happen anymore, like nowadays. Like not like it was an accident or anything." And she was like, "Yeah." Haha." She like kind of chuckled and like smiled at me because she could tell that I was like trying to be cool. Anyway, we like walk back to where our cars are, and then load our groceries and stuff. Like, and then I see the woman that accidentally hit her start walking her cart back, and I start walking my cart back, and we're kind of walking up at the same time. And then I look back and I see the woman that like accidentally got hit, that was being rude, like just push her cart like off to the side into like a parking spot like next to a car. It was this close to hitting the car when she like pushed it. I was like, oh gosh, imagine that happened. That probably would have been like the straw that broke the camel's back, dude. But it didn't hit the car, but she like pushed it off to the side. And I see that, and then I look back, and like me and that other woman are like next to each other now, putting our carts away. Like it's the courteous thing to do. And I just looked over her and I was like, I like literally could have bet money that woman wasn't going to return her cart. It's literally insane. So that brings me into my hot take of the week, my hot toddy take. If you are not in like an emergent situation, or like if you're not disabled, like I get if you're disabled, if like you're in an emergency or something, not putting your cart back. But I feel like if you're not, I feel like you're a bad person. I that's such a hot take that like so many people talk about and like throw around, that it's like you can tell like a person's like personality. You can tell like how good a person is by whether they put their shopping cart away, like if they put it into the return, or if they just like throw it in a random spot next to where they're parked. And yeah, I like fully believe that like if you don't put your cart back, like that's just rude. And people debate like, oh, well, the people that, you know, do the cart return, like the employees, like that's their job. Like if you put it away for them, like they don't have a job anymore. Like it's to keep them employed. And I feel like that's just like a pick me answer. Like that's a pick me take. I don't feel like that's like valid. Like I really just feel like it's the courteous thing to do. Especially when it's like a busy time and there's like a lot of people with carts all around. I just feel like it's a nice thing to do, like point blank period. The only other thing that I've like thought about, and I was literally on like a Google rampage last night, like reading like Quora and like Reddit, is like if you have kids, like that, I was like, oh, what if I had like kids and I have to put a cart back? Like I feel like if I saw someone with a kid and they didn't return it, like I would almost like understand a little bit as well. Because half of me would be like nervous to just like leave my kids even like locked in my car, like unattended, to just like put a cart away. Like I'd feel a little bit nervous doing that. But also like I feel like parking lots are very dangerous places. So I'm definitely not going to like make my kids walk with me back to the cart return and then back to the car, because it's just like parking lots are dangerous with kids anyway. Like people drive crazy and like aren't paying attention, and I don't know. So I don't know, that's I feel like maybe another exception. But people on Reddit were like, no, like I have kids, you can just park like close to the cart return, put your kids in the car, lock it, you know, make sure they're safe, and then go put your cart away. It literally takes like 30 seconds max. Like your kids are going to be fine. So I understand that take too. And I think maybe I am on the side that like, no, you probably should just return the cart. But yeah, that's my hot toddy take for the week. I think that you should always do that. And if you don't, it's very telling about the kind of person that you are. Oh my gosh. Okay, what am I thirsting for this week? Well, I want to add on to one of my topics from a previous episode. I talked about my nighttime routine and how I've been watching SpongeBob at night. I have also added cherry juice to my nighttime routine. So I will have cherry juice, like chilled cherry juice, because I've heard that it can like relax you. I mean, I always usually just have chamomile tea, but now that the weather is like warming up, like I could just make like iced chamomile tea. maybe I'll do that. Honestly, that's such a good idea because I'm not trying to drink hot tea like at night in the summer before I go to bed. Like that just doesn't sound very appetizing. I like to sleep really cool, so I think as most people do. So maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I can add that to my nighttime routine. But I've been drinking cherry juice as an addition to my nighttime routine. So I'll have my cherry juice and my SpongeBob, and I'll put on my little bonnet, and I'll just be like laid up in my bed, all cozy. But yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm zesty and thirsting for this week is my return of my savory oats era. This may be even considered like a hot take as well. But I love savory oatmeal like so much. It's literally like my obsession. I low-key have even thought of like opening up like a little like food truck or like a food stand that serves like coffee and tea and like breakfast items, but like the breakfast being like oatmeal, but it's like different kinds of oatmeal. So not just like classic like sweet oatmeal with like berries and nuts and raisins and like things like that. I've always thought oatmeal like that is like super mid, and I feel like it's like it's just not like the vibe, and it doesn't really like taste very appetizing. It's like the most bland thing in the world. But what I do is I will take like quick oats, like if I'm in a pinch, and this is like a super easy like breakfast, or even like I'll prep it like to bring with me to work for lunch. But I'll do oats, and then I'll put like I'll do like one with like green onion, like liquid aminos, like soy sauce, and I'll put a little sriracha, maybe like chili oil, kimchi. I've even done it where I've like put like tofu mixed with it, like ginger, garlic, and it's literally insane. It's like the best thing ever, because I'm just like I've said it once and I'll say it again. I'm a savory girl at heart. So any chance that I can get to have a savory snack or meal, I'm gonna do it, and that includes oatmeal. And a lot of people are grossed out by that. Like I've talked to friends about it, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm in my savory oats era. Like I'm making savory oats recipes," and they're like, "What? Like that's a thing?" But I've heard that that's a thing in like other countries. So chill out, y'all. So yeah, I'll do like green onion, like that vibe. And then I've also done, I'm also in my dill era. I literally put dill on everything. Fresh dill. I might not say the name correctly. I think it's called the everything but the pickle. No, maybe I'm just thinking of that because Trader Joe's has the everything but the bagel seasoning. What is it called? Where's my phone? I'm going to look it up. But it's a pickle seasoning from Trader Joe's. Let me find the name. And it literally has like salt, dried dill, pickle. Let me see. Pickle. Oh gosh, I'm typing with my left hand. Seasoning, Trader Joe's. Oh yeah, it's called seasoning in a pickle. It's amazing. And it has fresh dried dill. My bad. That'd be cool if it was fresh. I mean, I can make it fresh too, but it has dill, salt, onion, vinegar powder, sugar, garlic, dried dill, and it's literally the best thing ever. Like it just tastes like pickles. And I put that on everything, but I will make oats and I'll put that, and I'll put like diced red onion and like celery and that dill seasoning, and like, I don't know, sometimes I throw tofu in everything, so tofu also usually with that, and it's literally insane. But like sometimes I'll make it with the like soy riso, and then I'll put like salsa and guac, and it's basically just like a bowl, but like instead of it being rice, it's oatmeal, and it's really tasty, and I love it, and I stand by it. So if you haven't had savory oats, I suggest you try just like any kind of flavor palette or like cuisine that you're a massive fan of. Replace like the carb with oats and try to do like a savory oat bowl type of thing. I promise you'll love it. It's delicious. That's like, I also make like chickpea salad a lot. That's like another like dill thing that I'll do. Like I'll use chickpeas and like vegan mayo, and that dill seasoning and a pickle seasoning. And then I'll put like onion and celery and oh gosh, it's just so good. I literally love it. Can't get enough. Okay, out of pocket things that my students have said. Let's see this week. Okay, I don't know that this is super out of pocket, but I just thought it was hilarious. I have a student. She is 5 years old. She's actually been studying with me for like a few years. She's super talented for her age. She's so smart and like witty, and it's so cute seeing kids like get to that age where like their personality starts to show more. And she's starting to get kind of sassy, and it's like so cute. Anyway, she came in to her lesson this week, and she had her sister with her, and I had never met her sister before, and usually it's just her and her mom or dad, and her baby brother comes with too, but she came in with her sister, and the sister sat in on the lesson so she could like see what it's like, you know. It was cute. She's like, "This is my sister," and I was like, "Oh yeah, nice to meet you," you know. And I was like, "Oh, do you because I knew she had the baby brother, but I was like, do you have any other brothers or just your baby brother?" And she was like, "I have 2 sisters and 1 baby brother, but I don't want another brother because they're really rough." She was like, "He's too rough, and like, I would take another sister, but I don't want another brother." I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. Like, I can only imagine, like, being an only child, like, I can't really relate to like the sibling tropes or like the stories or the stereotypes, because like I didn't experience that at all. But like I can only imagine like being like three or 4 or 5, and then your parents have a baby boy, and then he gets to his terrible twos. Oh my gosh. And the mom has told me in the past that they like fight a lot and they like get into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. But it's just funny. She's like, "I don't want another brother." Like, she was so serious about it too. She's like, "He's too rough. Like, actually, like, I'd trade him." Like, dang, girl. That's funny. But she's so cute though. Like, she still loves her brother. She's always like, when I give her stickers, she's like, "Can I get an extra one for him?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So you do love him. Y'all just brawl a little bit. That's funny. I don't know. It makes me think of like kind of like the pros and cons of like having multiple kids and like versus like having an only child. And I can see in so many ways there are like a lot of pros about being an only child. Like, obviously the stereotype, like, oh, you get like better gifts, or like, you know, you have more like privacy, and like you're less, you know, there's no like arguing or like whatever, like, or jealousy. I'm sure that that's like a huge crazy thing with siblings. But I don't know, I feel like there are a lot of pros to like being able to grow up with siblings. That's like you have friends, and maybe you're less lonely at times. Not that being an only child is like super lonely. Maybe there's moments, but I don't know. I always had friends growing up and spent time with friends, and like I had fun. Like, I filled my time with things. Like, I wasn't bored too often, so that was good. But I'm lucky in that way. But I don't know, it makes me think like I think that's one of the reasons why like when I have kids I want to have multiple, because like I didn't have that experience of like having siblings, and like I want my kids to have that experience. I think it's like super cool, and just to have like a big old family. And my partner does have siblings, so like he can attest to what that is like, and he has that experience growing up with siblings, older and younger. So like he can give the advice regarding like sibling things, and then I'm just gonna be learning along the way. I think it'll be cool. Anyway, y'all, that's gonna wrap up today's episode. It's just short and sweet and light today. I had a really chill week. I've been working on some new music. I'm like working on demos right now. I'm so excited. And I've been doing the podcast, and like things have just been looking up. It's like summer, the sun is out. I'm like feeling so like chipper, even though it's hot. Other than it being hot, like the vibes are so good. The summer has been good so far already, and I'm just excited. I have some little travel plans. I'm gonna be staying with my bestie next week, so you will get an episode either next week or the week after with her. And then I have some other travel plans weekend travel plans in July. So we'll have some guests coming up this summer that I'm so excited for. So yeah, you can look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend and a nice week. And stay cool out there. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.